Hello. So today I wanted to talk about the victim energy that I think is really thick and heavy right now, for me especially. And not to say that, that my post, like I know a lot of people saw my post earlier today, I discovered that I was removed from a group, and this will be the second time in about 2 weeks that I was removed from a group. Although the first time I was, I was informed and I was, it was discussed with me, and I agreed that that I didn't match the energy of the group, so that was fine. It still hurt. It still stung. I'm not gonna lie, because this is someone I have followed a long time and has helped me a lot and been a mentor for a while, and we're still friends. It just was, I had been with her for so long. And it's kind of been a series of mentors that, that has come to an end, and that's a good thing. But this group kind of threw me for a loop. It was out of nowhere. It was kind of the last group that I had left as far as talking about all this, this woo-woo, which a lot of us don't even like that word anymore. Woo-woo, where did that even come from? Makes us sound crazy. But this energy and this ascension and everything that's going on the planet right now, which whether you buy into, the astrology or energy work, or even that there is energy or that we're made of energy, whether you buy into it or not, I know you're feeling it. I absolutely know you're feeling it. People think they have mono. People think, and I'm not saying you don't have mono, that's not what I'm saying, but they're essentially ascension symptoms. And I'm not saying don't go to a doctor. I'm not saying any of that, but, or don't take care of yourself. But there's a lot going on, and we're all feeling it, and it manifests a lot in the physical body. So if you are feeling a little off and your doctor can't find anything wrong with you, I can almost promise you you're fine. You're feeling all of these things. So this huge change. Anyway, off track. See, this is why I don't like to do lives yet, because I ramble. So the victim energy has been coming big time for me. I have had it. I swear I was born into this life with the victim energy, and always kind of had that. Although it wasn't, well, it was very internal. I didn't always project it, but internally I always had that kind of, this life is happening to me, and what awful thing is going to happen next, right? Like, wait for the next terrible thing, and nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. And so it's been coming. I mean, I started, awakening. If you don't like that term, this probably isn't the video for you. I started awakening about 5 years ago, and I was, no kidding, shoved off the cliff. Like I had seen signs. I had read books. I'd had inklings of things, and I refused to jump. And so I was booted off the cliff, and it was not fun. And it's not been a whole lot of fun the last 5 years, although I wouldn't trade it for anything. I have transformed so much. I'm not the same person. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. So, I'm me. I am more truly me everything that I go through and come out the other side. I'm uncovering more of me. So it's all good. It's all awesome. Finally, I really am feeling, like a lot of the real big stuff is behind me, and that's great. The thing is, we're never done, right? We're never done processing things. There are always going to be triggers, but these big things, what this energy is doing for us, is forcing us to face these big things, to release them, to let them go, to finally be free of them, so that we can step into our true missions here on this planet. Because right now, this is a super exciting time to be here. We all chose to be here at this time. Whether you believe it or not, you chose this on a soul level to be here. And it's going to be incredible. And right now, I believe, everything I've been following anyway says, we are now in this kind of 7-year thing where at the end of this 7 years, we will all be awake, and life on this planet is just going to look very different. So, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the next 7 years. I'm excited about getting there, but The important thing is to stay in the present. And so this victim energy is coming strong for a lot of people, I think. And what it is making you see is that everything that has happened to you in your life has been a result of your choice. And you may not want to hear that. I know I didn't. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that I was manifesting, bad things because I was focusing on the bad things. The law of attraction is real. It's a thing. The more you focus on the negative and to dwell on these negative things and hold on to them, the more you're going to attract. I think everybody at this point knows this. And there are a lot of law of attraction coaches out there that are teaching this right now if people don't know. But, and is it difficult to focus on the positive? Hell yeah, because we have been drowning in the negative for generations, for hundreds of years, and that has been by design. And without getting into that too much, we have been groomed to become this slave race on this planet and to never be fully healthy, to never really know what we're supposed to be doing here, to never get clarity, to never step into our power, because if we did, we would take over. And if you've ever seen the movie Bug's Life, that was huge disclosure as far as I'm concerned. Like the one ant figured it out first, and he had to convince the rest of him that there were so many more of them than there were of the grasshoppers. Yet the grasshoppers terrorized them on a regular basis when they realized that they could easily not just overcome the grasshoppers, but easily overcome them because of their numbers. They did it, and they were free of the grasshoppers. So I love that movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's a great message, I think. And not so much the violence part, but whatever. That is what it is. So, and there's a lot of that going on right now. But this stuff that's coming, this victim energy that's coming, you have to let yourself feel it. Remember what you felt during traumatic times in your life. Remember these awful things that happened to you, and you felt like, oh, this is happening to me. All of this is happening to me. Why does the world hate me? Why is my life so hard? Let yourself feel it, and then step out of it. Imagine it like a heavy fur coat, and visualize taking off that coat. And you're gonna set it on the floor, and you're gonna step back from it. And you're gonna look at it and say, you represent all of the victim energy I've been carrying around my whole life. And I fill you with divine love and light now. And I release you. I let you go. And you visualize it filling with light. I like to visualize it filling with light to the point that it literally becomes a ball of light, whatever it is. It becomes this ball of light. And then you can say, I release you. I release you back to where you came from, or I release you back to consciousness, or I just release you back to where you need to go. And then you visualize it going. And I like to visualize, I always tell people I carry a portal with me everywhere I go. I like to visualize it going into this portal that, in my visualization is about 10 feet off the floor. And the portal immediately transports it where it needs to go, wherever that might be. And that's an easy visualization. The thing is with this victim energy is it's probably 100 fur coats. And I'll just be honest with you right now. So you're going to have to do that visualization. If the visualization resonates with you and works for you, if you feel even a little better after you do it, then it's working. And so you might have to do it 100 times. You might have to shed 100 fur coats because it is such a deep thing, this victim energy that we've been ingrained with. That we have no control, that because there are other people on the planet, right, we can't control what happens to us. We can't control that guy running the stoplight. We can't control, but what we can control, and actually we can, but we'll get there. We're not there as a race yet, but we'll get there. But what we can control is our response to these things. And so if you get an offender bender and you dwell on it and you focus on the negative and you cannot let it go, then more will come. More negative will come. So you need to find a way to be in this gratitude of thank you for this, like nobody was hurt, nobody was killed, it was just a fender bender, you have insurance, hopefully all these things are true, but you can apply this to all these little things that happen throughout the day, and even big things. but you have to find a way. And I don't want to say you have to, I don't want to make it sound like if you don't find a way to do this, like I just talked about yesterday, I don't want to instill fear. That's the last thing I want to do in my videos, because what I really want you to understand is that no matter, and this is somebody else finally said it to me, and I was like, thank you, like I needed somebody to tell me this. I was in fear. I felt fear. There are things that I still fear, and I'm releasing them slowly, but it's okay. It's not, there's no timeline as far as when you have to reach this certain, like, oh, I've released this and this and this. There's no checklist. You don't need to keep a list. It's happening for you. And as long as you realize that there are outside forces, and yes, everything is energy and everything is one, but there are outside forces right now, and I won't get into aliens and everything, but there are outside forces, energetic forces. If you can wrap your brain around that, even there are outside forces that are facilitating this transformation for us, not to us. In fact, things have been done to us long enough. And I don't know about you, but I'm done with that shit. So, and we have been powerless. We have been made to believe that we were powerless. And so, this new world is ushering us into a new empowerment where we're going to take charge, and we're going to realize that we actually do have the power of the ants to overcome the grasshoppers. And not just having the power, but it's going to be effortless to take back our lives, to take back our planet, and to live like we've never lived before. Live like we're meant to live, like we have always been meant to live, but that was taken away from us. And that's a whole nother topic. So the victim energy's been coming for me big time. And if you saw my post, I was removed from this group that I felt was, and honestly, now that that I've started to release it, which I have, I did the visualization, I do some other things, I meditate, I listen to 432 hertz music, whatever helps you. Everybody has their own specific things that soothe them. And so since I started to release it, I realized that I really didn't fit in there, in that group. Now, it stung a little that I was removed with no notice, no explanation, and seemingly was also blocked from communicating with this person who ran the group in any way. And I mean, as far as I know, and just a few days ago, we were conversing online on Facebook, and everything seemed fine. So it was a shock, but I knew that other people had also been removed. And so what's happening is, and I don't blame this person at all, what's happening is we're formulating our tribes and we're fine-tuning them. And when you own a group on Facebook, you have every right. You have every right to, would I have liked a message? Sure. Not my journey. Not my journey, that person's journey. And so I can release it and I can forgive without ever having to speak to this person again. That is the beauty of being human. And so you can forgive people without ever, having physical contact with them again. You can still do it. It's possible, I promise. I've done it. I had a long list of people to forgive, like we all do. And that's all part of that victim energy too. And so, but we're fine-tuning the tribes, and right now it feels overwhelming because everything's been put on fast forward. There's no timeline for us to wake up. Everything's going to have a perfect, you will start seeing these things. You will start feeling like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You will start feeling like you're climbing out of this hole. You may feel like you're in a hole. I know I was. At exactly the right moment that you were supposed to. So even if you feel like, I'm never going to get out of this fear, if you set the intention that you will climb out of this pit of fear and you will see the sun again, then it will happen. It's your choice how long it takes, really, but I know for me, I didn't want people saying, oh, well, you're choosing this suffering. And I was like, why would I choose this? Why would I choose to go through this? And the problem with that statement is when you tell people that, it instills more fear, I think. And yes, like I said, triggering's good. We need people to be triggered to release things. You need to be slapped in the face with these things sometimes to see that that's what needs to go next. But I feel like it can be done in a little bit, more compassionate way, I guess. And I'm not, judging anyone else who has done that with me and with other people. It is effective, but I feel like for some people, it's not the best way to do it. So I feel like it should be more of like when you say, you're choosing this. In reality, yes, we chose what we were going to go through in this life at a much higher level than what most of us can access right now. And so is that your fault oh well, you chose this, so just choose, you can just choose differently. Sometimes we're not there. You have to be at a certain energetic level, I think. And you can get to that level, and then, it's one of these. You can get to that level, and then maybe you feel like you're not there anymore. But you'll get back there. But for the most part, for this huge thing happening to all of us, when somebody tells you, well, you're choosing it, just choose different. It's like telling somebody. It's like telling, all of us know people who have gone through depression. It's like telling somebody in the depths of a depressive, situation, well, you just need to get up and, feel gratitude. What's wrong with you? You just need to think about love. And it doesn't work that way, does it? Because there's so much bogging us down that we are wearing so many goddamn fur coats that we need to start taking them off. One at a time, however long it takes. And, the more, I promise you will feel a little bit better every coat that goes. You may have 1,000 coats, but why? And if you choose to continue to wear those coats at any level, then yes, it's going to take a while. But you can choose right now something you can actually do, rather than, oh, just get out of bed. What's wrong with you? Why are you so depressed? Choose right now whether you have to be in bed or not. Just even if you don't believe it, set an intention. Just even in your head, say, all right, universe, or God, however you want to however you want to label it. It's all the energy out there, and energy is pure love. And so you can say, listen, universe, I'm setting my intention right now that I will climb out of this. And honestly, I started to realize that I needed to start saying, rather than I will, I am. Even if I didn't feel like I was going anywhere, I would set an intention. I said, I am pulling myself out of this. I know I am, and I have a lot of help. But I am climbing out of this, not I will someday, keeping it at arm's length. But I am doing it just by recognizing what I'm feeling and that it is not a permanent thing. And so you can start to shed those fur coats right now. And if my visualization didn't work for you, find your own. I've modified mine over the last couple years many times because I was doing it one way and then that just didn't seem to work anymore. And so and really you just have to kind of allow it. Like if you say, okay, how am I going to release you? And sometimes you'll just see it happen. And then you can do it that way. And so it'll morph, it'll change just like life does in every aspect. And it's happening on a huge scale right now. And it's heavy. It's heavy. And it's, sometimes it feels like it's beyond our control, but it's actually just a grasshopper. And it's one grasshopper and we're a million ants. And how easy is that to take on one grasshopper? Super duper easy. So I don't even know if I talked about what I wanted to talk about, but I babbled a lot. Just know that relationships especially, and I did post this yesterday, relationships especially are in flux right now. Everything is, and and I knew this yesterday, and then discovered that I had been removed from that group today and was still kind of thrown back and very upset. And I had to go in and, realize that it really has nothing to do with me. It had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with me. It's, my first thoughts were, if you can relate to this, like my first thoughts were, what if there's something wrong with me that they saw that they don't want to even tell me? It's so bad. It's so big and bad that they didn't even want to tell me about it. And so they immediately had to block me. This had nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing. And if you feel like there are a lot of friends, loved ones, all of a sudden disappearing out of your life, and you don't know why, it's not anything to do with you. It's their journey. And they are going in a different direction, and you have to let them. You have to let them, because that is a fur coat. That is a fur coat growing legs and walking away. So be grateful for that fur coat knew enough to go without you having to work on it. And so thank you, fur coat with legs. And so, and you can set an intention to have so much, for the energetic, the cosmic energy to help you release all these things too. They don't all have to be big, heavy fur coats, and they aren't. Some of them are just a little light summer sweater. So it's not all that difficult. But I know this victim energy is heavy. Not one of us is a victim, I promise you. We have chosen all of this, and whatever you have chosen, you can handle, because you chose it and you knew how much you could handle. And so what helped me when I was in the pit, in the fetal position, at the bottom of the pit, the only thing that helped me really, and hopefully this helps you if you are in that spot right now, or it might be again, was even if I didn't believe it, I was thanking God, thanking the universe, thanking the energy, the cosmic consciousness for this experience. And a lot of times I didn't believe it, but immediately when I shifted my thoughts to that, instead of, my most common thought was, oh my God, I can't handle this. Take me, just take me now. Once I shifted to thank you, even if I didn't believe it, even if I was deeper thinking F you, I was like, thank you for this experience. Thank you for this opportunity, because I know when I climb out of this hole, that I'm going to be even better than I was before, even stronger, and able to help people maybe going through the same thing. So this is longer than I anticipated, but just remember that as people come and go, no matter how much you love them, they may not be good for your journey. And when they go, unless you feel a real pull, like there's something pulling you to fight for that relationship, you have to let them travel their own road, and no matter how much it hurts. And so, and it's all going to be good. It's all falling into place. And there's no, as far as this journey is concerned, there is no, my immediate thought when I was removed from this group, and other groups too, was they're so far ahead of me, right, in this awakening. And that's not even true either. That is an illusion. There is no ahead or behind. Everybody's journey is so unique that you can't compare. You can't compare yourself with someone else. And you will wake up, you will come to see your true potential at exactly the moment you're supposed to see it, when you're ready to see it. And so there's no behind, there's no ahead. Everyone's got their own. It's not a race. It's absolutely not a race, and it's not a competition. We are all here to co-create with each other this amazing new world that we're coming into with the new energy frequency, and all this evil coming to the surface that we can now release, worldwide, personally, government, all of it. So much of it is coming because it's time for it to go. So let's take off all those fur coats and say no to fur anyway. But let's take off all those fur coats and seriously run naked and free. That's the goal here. I mean, just to be free of all these things that are weighing us down, that aren't serving us, aren't doing us any good. So be in gratitude, even if you don't feel it. Be there as much as you can, and I promise you that will attract good things, and that it'll just make you feel better. It will just kind of take the edge off if you're going through something, processing something. So I'm going to shut up now for my second video. I don't even know what I talked about. Hopefully it made sense. Hopefully it helps. Even if it helps one person, that would make me blissfully happy. So I love everyone who watches this. If you're drawn to watch it and if you hang out for the whole 25 minutes, then hopefully you'll get something because you were meant to watch it for some reason. So, and not just to look at my lovely face. So I love you guys, and I'm going to try and do more and more videos because I think that's what I need to do. So I will see you soon.